They're available at Infowars.com as the top special on both of our shopping carts. And this film is still online, Fall the Republic. You can still get that and send it out virally. Okay, let's talk to Patricia in California. You're on the air, Patricia.
Mr. Jones, my patriot son, how are you today?
I'm doing all right. What's on your mind?
I am a 65-year-old grandmother and a descendant of the 3 percenters. I carry my history proudly. I thank you on your AM show some years ago for awakening me to the trouble that our dear republic is in. The way I started to help my own personal family, I developed a website, password protected, and it has everything on it. And my grandchildren read it regularly. Now, I think it is incumbent on all grandparents to teach that generation the truth about what's going on.
That's right. This is a long war. This is a long war. We may not defeat this in a year or even 10 years. It's like the people fighting the Soviets from within. This is a long fight, and we better not think the web's going to be there forever and it's free form. We've got to save all this information as a brain trust.
That is correct. And I print so much, Alex, that you have provided, and I have made copies of the films. I pass them out everywhere. Now, I wanted to ask you something. As I said, my site is password protected, and friends that see it say, oh, God, Patricia, release it to everybody, release it. And I, as a grandparent, am very paranoid of the New World Order not hurting me, but hurting my grandchildren. So I haven't done it. Now, if they're going after websites, bloggers, on copyright infringement...
Well, that's not even what they're doing. Patricia, I appreciate your call. This wasn't copyright infringement. They hacked it, and they shut it down. And they're also outside of due process shutting people down for copyright infringement. They're using a lot of different excuses. The answer to this tyranny is not to hide the information. It's for everybody to come out and start speaking and for everybody to duplicate the info. So it's like whack-a-mole, so they can't stop it. But great points. I appreciate your call. I want to try to get to everybody here. Taylor in Texas, you're on the air.
Alex, man, it's nice to hear from you. We've been here in Houston for 2 years listening to you standing strong against the New World Order.
Awesome.
And we are not going to let them take our speech away. You know, I call into all the morning and all the afternoon radio shows as often as I can, and all your fellow info warriors here in Texas, I know one of our common grounds is the border security and what's going on with our border. Don't let them sit there and put out all these little namby-pamby racist talking points and argue for, you know, the 30 minutes that you got to drive into work and listening to their sludge. Call in, put in the real info, tell them where you got it, tell them InfoWars sent you, and we're not standing back, and we're going to come for you, and we have the info, and we, the warriors of information, shall reign over the radio waves.
Awesome, brother. Keep it up. Yes. It's all about putting you on the defensive. I don't want government-run health care. You're a racist. I want to defend our sovereignty. We're going bankrupt. Shut up, racist. You've got to call into talk radio. That's another key point that you just raised. Let's talk to Adam in California. Adam, you're on the air.
Hi, Alex. This is Adam. I'm one of the founding members of We Are Change LA. I sent you the footage for Martin Sheen talking about World Trade Center 7.
Yes, sir. Good to hear from you.
And I'll tell you what, I'm fired up like you are, Alex. And if they do manage to successfully shut down the net, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into overdrive right away, burning DVDs, and I'm going to be passing them out to everybody. I got a couple hundred of them in my hand right now, and I'll go into overdrive.
Well, they're incrementally testing and seeing what they can get away with right now with this censorship of the Obama deception.
Right, and they're also doing it on truth sites. They're doing mass purges on 9/11 Blogger and the Randy Rhodes message board. They're purging people off there that are talking about 9/11 and the New World Order.
Well, we're in trouble, and we're damaging the globalists. We're exposing them right now. We have power, and that's why they're doing this. They were real arrogant before and thought they could just ignore us. Adam, I appreciate your call. We're going to continue. By the way, there was a big bombing, a car bombing in Juarez. I mean, it's a total war. Mexico's collapsed, and we're not supposed to even protect our border. And over 80 miles of Arizona is now controlled by Mexico. I mean, this is insane. Let's talk to Duke in Texas. Duke, you're on the air.
Alex, thanks for taking my call.
I appreciate you calling.
I first heard you about 15 years ago sitting on a campfire in Canyon Lake, and since then I had to have a shortwave radio and upgraded to high-speed internet just so I could hear you.
Well, God bless you. That's why we still do shortwave, in case they do shut down the web. Go ahead.
Well, the censorship goes further than this. I have sent you a lot of articles, news articles, and for the last couple of months, I'm not able to get through at all.
Well, the major virus software makers are now listing InfoWars and Prison Planet, even though we don't even have cookies. They're now listing us in there all over the world to block people from being able to get to the website. So, again, this censorship is coming in from many different angles.
Next time that you cover something on the oil spill, bring up the point that they cap these oil wells and instead of pumping the oil out and showing there's plenty of oil in the world.
Well, you're right. There's too much oil, and that's why the global oil oligopoly wants to bring in the carbon tax to shut down their competition so others can't drill. I appreciate your call. We're almost out of time here, but let's talk to Joe in Texas. Real fast, Joe. Go ahead.
Alex, I'm a web warrior, too. You hosted my first article, Hoax of the Century, last April. I've got 50 articles on the false science of global warming. I have a unique byline and have 50 titles up, and I try to have unique titles. I had 295 links to my name the first day of May, and when the guy from Google walked out of the White House, it dropped to 5,000. I've got 10 articles with my name on it as author that have more than 5,000 links each.
Yeah, you're a guy out there. You're a guy out there having a big effect, and they're starting to censor you. They're creeping in, quietly closing the news, quietly purging, quietly manipulating. I mean, the White House regulations are, the technology czar says he wants to forcibly sterilize you, John P. Holdren, but the Cass Sunstein, the regulations czar, says ban criticizing man-made global warming. These crooks aren't going to back off without a fight, and we're starting to kick their hind end, and they know it. I appreciate your call. I'm sorry to Christy, Gary, others. Great job to the crew. I'll be back tomorrow live, 11 a.m. Central at Infowars.com on your local AM and FM station. We're getting a lot of new stations, so we're on AM, shortwave, satellite, and the Internet. They're not going to shut us down easily. We've got to stand up against these censors. They're testing us right now, seeing if they can get away with what they're doing. Let's counter them by getting the Obama deception out to everyone and Infowars.com out to everyone. God bless you all. Alex Jones here with urgent information concerning TrendsResearch.com. The Trends Journal distills the voluminous ongoing research of the Trends Research Institute into a concise, readily accessible form. By tracking 300 separately defined domestic and international trends, the Trends Journal establishes the connections that others fail to see or misinterpret. Gerald Salente's Trends Journal allows you to anticipate change, recognize the implications, and take protective